I mean, this is gonna sound a little bit crude, but the wiretapper doesn't fuck around. I mean, it's rare when there's something that shows up and it's there for no reason at all. Hello, everybody. Good to see you folks here. I hope this week has been good for you. I mean, it's definitely been a week full of opportunity. There's been movements and I would say pretty much all the markets we follow. Quite interesting moves. Anyway, I wanted to show something that the wiretapper picked up. I did not notice this when it happened. I just noticed it this morning, so it's kind of late to take any action on it, but it's definitely something that I am going to keep my eye on for next time. And this is what happened sometime early in 2022. All of the major indices, and the indices in the wiretapper start with the little dollar sign. This is the Dow Jones, the SPX, the Russell, they're all there, the VIX. So for example, for SPX, if we look just in 2022, how many times it's popped up just in 2022 alone, there's been 3 hits. This means that SPX has, just in the month of January, shown up here 3 times. This is a lot. SPX barely makes it on this list. So I mean, and we can actually count just in general, in total, how many hits do we have for SPX going back to 2016? And as we can see, there's only 45 hits. That's it, 45 hits. So, and then 3 of them are in January of this year. Now, like, just out of completeness, I want to see what percentage that is. That's 6%. That's pretty crazy. Okay, but that's not all. So I saw SPX. I also saw, I believe it's NDX. Yes. Or no, not NDX. There's 3 indices, and all of them popped up on one of these dates during January, and it was literally right after this date that the vol really started picking up. I mean, if you look at these dates here, Jan 18, Jan 19, Jan 20th. So we were being warned ahead of time, and personally, I wasn't looking for it. I really do wish that I would have been paying attention to that. I'm not sure if any of you caught it, but let's go. If we go to that date in particular, Jan 19 or Jan 20th, what you'll see is that you would have been greeted that morning when you would have logged into the wiretapper. There we go. Okay, here's the 19th. So the 19th, the data for the 19th, the very first entry, RUT, second entry, SPX. That's interesting. If we go to the day after that on the 20th, or sorry, we were on the 20th. Let's go to the 19th, and just there we go again, the 19th, 18th. Here we go, 18th as well. RUT, SPX, and VIX. This is on the 18th, and then there's the weekend, and a gap here. But on the 14th, we weren't getting those hits. Notice there's no SPX, there's no VIX, there's none of that here on the 14th. However, from the 18th onward, let's count them. January 18th, we got a warning. January 19th, another warning. 20th, we already know that there's a warning there. 21st, another one. Only this time, it's including the Dow Jones and VIX rather than SPX and Russell. It's another major index though. So what is this clustering of a bunch of indices that we rarely see here? Once again, I mean, you can do this comparison yourself. Just type in the symbol and look to see how many times that symbol has shown up at all, like throughout the whole history, just to see what the relevance is, right? Because if VIX shows up, I don't know, let's say 3 times a month, every month, okay, when next time it shows up, it's probably not that meaningful. But if seeing VIX pop up in this category only happens very rarely, in this case, 92 times, 92 results in total, going back to 2016. How many of them have been in January of 2022? 4 of them. To me, that's statistically significant. And if we look at that percentage, we saw that for SPX, that was approximately 6%. 6% of the hits that we have in this database have taken place just in the first month of 2022. So if we have 92 results for VIX, and out of those 92, 4 of them have been in January, and not just January, but very specifically this portion of January, the back half of January, right? It's a very concentrated period of time. So as a percentage, again, very simple, 4 into 92, 4% of the hits, of all of the VIX hits that we've gotten since we began collecting data in 2016 for the volume section have been in this back half. I can't overstate the significance of this, and I believe that we have seen what took place. Now let's follow. Let's see if it would have actually been any use to us to see that that cluster. And I'm just using here the SPY just as a reference. And I'm going to go back to the 19th, the 20th, when we first started getting those hits, and that was January. Okay, so the market began its a little bit of a sell-off at the end of the year. This is December 31st, 3rd of January 2022, and then we begin the descent. We begin going down. Okay, we stop. Here's the 10th. We're approaching those days, folks. We're approaching those days. This is looking very promising, actually. This is the 12th, 13th, 18th. So right around this time frame, which again, it's sort of, to me at least, I find this fascinating, that right around this time frame where the market was on the fence of breaking some long-term support or not, and right around here, as you can see, but if we go back and look back in time to see how often the market has traded around these levels, we can see that, for example, this was the top of the market at some point in what was this, September of 2021. It also happened to be the bottom during some previous sell-off. So it does bear some amount of significance. Now, the bigger picture, is it that relevant? No, but when we're zoomed in and just looking at 1 year of data and so on, yeah, it definitely has some significance because you saw the hits that the wiretapper picked up. So we had crazy volume in the SPX, crazy volume in VIX, crazy volume in Russell, crazy volume in the Dow Jones, all taking place when the market was approaching the 450 level, 452. I mean, I would round it to 450 bucks. As Jonathan says, the market does not like to stay around round numbers, and this 450 sure is a round number. If we would be looking at the futures, let's do that as a matter of fact. But we're looking at, for example, the S&P futures instead. It'd be the same exact thing. The only thing we would need to do is just add on, or excuse me, multiply it by 10, since the S&P future and the SPX are price-wise at least 4,368 rather than 436. But it's effectively the same thing. So when this got to 4,500 or 450 in the spiders and the SPY, that's when that activity came about. Now, how is vol? How is VIX? How are those instruments doing during that time? And here I really want to get a low resolution, 15 minutes, not daily, but 15-minute or so we can see, was vol low? Like, had we purchased options, would it have been a good purchase? Given the fact that the market was already going down, and volatility had already come up a bit, it was in the 20s. Well, what do we see here? It sure as hell. I mean, this is going to sound a little bit crude, but the wiretapper doesn't fuck around. I mean, it's rare when there's something that shows up and it's there for no reason at all. Usually when something shows up in the wiretapper is for a very good reason. Now, I don't know what that reason is, but I do know that there's somebody else out there that does, and they're willing to risk a lot more money than that I am on their bet.